Hey guys, welcome to Aviator's Garage. This is my 2018 3rd gen Tacoma. Absolutely love it. I've had it for going on 5 years now. I bought it used, it's almost paid off. I've dumped a lot of money into this thing with mods and over the years. What I'd like to do is go through them all and tell you what's actually worth the money and what's not, so you don't have to make the same mistakes. So let's get into it. All right, so obviously the very first mod that I did was I changed out the grill and I put a TRD Pro grill on there. Yes, it's just a TRD. I know all the haters out there, go ahead and throw your comments below. The problem is that when I bought this thing, I thought it was a good deal. And it turned out that it was just a Chinese copy. It arrived cracked and it still has the look, but you can see over time that it has faded. So the ABS plastic hasn't been the greatest. Quite frankly, everybody's doing this. I think it's probably kind of played out by now. I wish I still had the original chicken wire. A lot of people would complain about that in the forums, but I think that would have probably been better than having the one that says Toyota, because it's not a TRD Pro, but I'm stuck with it. It is what it is because I sold the old one. So if you got an old chicken wire TRD 3rd gen, I'll go ahead and get it from you. Leave a link in the comments below and I'll reach out to you. All right, yes, obviously I did some things under the hood, so we'll go ahead and take a look at that. Hodgepodge stuff. But what I want to show is, if you like working on your truck, we're lifting that one-handed. If you like working on your truck, you can go ahead and buy a cold air intake. Even though the factory Tacomas come with a cold air intake, maybe this makes it look a little better or not. I can't tell you if I've gotten any increased horsepower, but this is the InGen Evolution air intake, and what it does is it takes air from two different spaces. One, it takes ram air from the front through and in, and then also wherever that fender part is behind here, it sucks air from in there into here, supposedly bringing you cooler air charge, therefore producing more power. I can't say that I've felt any different power from it, but if you like working on your Tacoma, go ahead and buy it. I don't know if I would do this first though. So personally, I know moving forward, I wouldn't have done this at all. So I don't recommend buying this. However, I have it. Now, the next thing is, you want to add a little bit of bling to underneath your hood. Well, I bought this cool thing because I saw it on eBay, and that's a throttle body spacer. Supposedly it brings you more volume of air into your intake, so therefore you get a better charge. However, the issue that I've had with it, learned from my mistakes, is it completely comes with different throttle body screws. Because of this, I think it's 3/4 inch, maybe it's an inch. But what it did was, when I was installing it with the InGen air intake, it completely shifted everything a little bit to the left. So it was a real pain in the butt to get this thing in there. So what I did now is I have ordered new screws, and I'm going to be getting rid of this thing. So I don't recommend getting a throttle body spacer, because the truth of the matter is, I thought it would look cool. You see a little bit of red bling, but you keep your cover on there. Or at least I assume most of you guys do. I don't know. You let me know. So throttle body spacer, I wouldn't get one of those either. So the next thing underneath the hood, I didn't know if you guys have dug through the forums and found out about this. Supposedly there's a rubber air intake. And I don't know if you can see it. I'm trying to see if I can get it in there for you. A little bit of light. It's right there. And what you can do is you can put a 3rd gen or whatever the generation before the Tundras where all the engines are blowing. You can get that generation piece of rubber fitting. And it's supposed to work. And it did work with the original airbox. But now you can see, I don't know if you can see in there, there's a gap. So I've got to fix that. And now that means I'm probably getting a little bit of hot air from the engine bay in here. And anyways, long story short, I've learned my lesson, and I know what I'm going to be doing moving forward when it comes to that kind of stuff. So man, I gotta be honest, so far we're not doing too good. I probably would not have spent my money on this stuff, so just something to think about. I've had them over now for going on 2.5 years. Absolutely nothing has come out of power wise, but I can open up the hood and say I did something to my truck. One thing I recommend that you do is, if you got to be a little handy, there's 2 different options here, and you're going to see I have both options on my truck. It's these gas struts. you can see I have one that bolts here to the original hood, or at least the mounts right there. And then the other one that I have is by Redline Tuning, and this is where you actually have to drill your own rivets. Well, why the heck would I have that? Originally, I had just pure Redline ones. And the problem with the Redlines is that you can see here on this engine intake, it takes a lot of room here. So when the gas strut was coming down and everything was getting warm, what would happen is this clip here, I would constantly be losing the way it's hooked up. And you can see I still have my hookup here, and then I've got the other hookup right there. But the problem is where how it would come down, it would keep rubbing and it would pop off. And quite frankly, that was just one royal pain in the butt. So I went in ahead and I found a different kind. These just bolt here, but I left the Redline, and now I have two different styles, which end up working fine. And I get that perfect, well, kind of luxury feel. And I think that's about as high as it'll go right there. But I think those could be worth it. I definitely think the Redline alone is worth it if you have your stock setup for your Tacoma. This InGen thing has started producing some pains in the butt for me, and I have got to correct it. I'm pretty sure I'll have more room when I get rid of that throttle body sensor right there, or excuse me, the throttle body spacer. And once I get rid of that thing, it's going to be a heck of a lot easier. Maybe I can go back to the original Redline. But hey man, I know I'm going to get some roasters in the comments. Go ahead and learn from my mistakes if you're checking this out. Don't do what I did. So originally, I had right here, you're going to see is, turn up the light for you guys. So one thing highly controversial, everybody knows where their ignition coils are, right? So originally I had RIPP coils, and I'm telling you right now, do not buy those things. They failed on me after about 10,000 miles, and I was completely stranded halfway between work and home. And I've got to drive pretty far for work. Sometimes it's a 5-hour drive. I was stuck 2.5 hours away from home. My wife, thank God, I had the original Denso coils. She came all the way to where I was with some tools, and I'm gonna make a whole video about how RIPP coils are absolutely not worth the money, and they left me stranded. So stick around for that one. Keep your original ignition coils. Learn from my mistakes on that one too. Don't buy those. So tires, nothing spectacular here. All I have on my upgrades and what I've done here is I bought some BF Goodrich KO2s, and they've been great for me. I know a lot of people have put in the comments or in the forums that BF Goodriches are extremely slippery when they're wet. I haven't had that issue. I rotate them as you're supposed to, and I keep about 50 PSI since these are load range E. You can see I've got about at least, I want to say 12,000 miles on them, and the tread is really nice. So I haven't had any problems. So the one thing I guess people probably do is they buy them once and then they really let the tread go down, because they're pretty expensive tires for a whole set of them. You're going to pay anywhere, I think I installed was between $1,300 to $1,400 for mine. So hey, I kind of understand. Okay, so another thing that I did was I put in some extreme power stop brakes. You can see it comes with a whole disc pads. I even put some spacers in here. These ones are actually 1.5 inches. The reason why I do the spacers is because I want a little bit more of an aggressive stance. It probably helps a little bit with handling. Plus it makes the tires kind of match up outside here. You can see the lip comes out just a little bit from where the fender flare is. Me personally, I like it. It gives it a little bit, feels like a little bit of control. The only thing I'm seeing here is that when I'm turning my wheel, I do have a little bit of revving. As far as the extreme power stop, I'm gonna put a card right here. You can check out my installation video on those, and you can pick them up on Amazon if you use my link. It supports the channel. I really appreciate it. Definitely recommend those. That's worth money. Plus the time that you're saving in order to be able to do your own work on your truck. Plus you get to know it a lot better. Plus when you go to these places like Tire Kingdom or NTB, wherever your places are, they always try to upsell you on dumb stuff like windshield wipers and all. Anyway, go ahead and do your own work. I enjoy it. Oh yes, one thing I totally forgot to mention is I have upgraded to LED bulbs. I don't know if you can see them. You can see the LED bulb in there on both my high beams, my normal, and also my fog lights. by far. I know a lot of people get the Cali raised fog lights. I just updated it with a LED bulb in there. You can buy them from Amazon. I'll throw a link in the description. Definitely worth the money to upgrade at least the bulbs so I can see a little bit more at night, especially when I'm out in the country. And I don't know, for you guys who drive off-road at night, I'm sure you probably also have your ditch lights, which I have some ditch lights I'm going to be installing that are from LasFIT Auto. So anyway, that video is coming. Stick around, subscribe so you can see that one. So came with the truck when I bought it used. Oh my God, I recommend, if you don't need to have direct access to your bed, get you a tonneau cover. It's not exactly 100% the most secure, but this thing has been a game changer, turning my truck into a huge trunk that's lockable and secure. This one, I believe, was originally by Rugged Cover. This, I think at the time, was $1,000, but you could probably get these things for about 600 now on Amazon, and I'm not sure it's even the same brand. I'll throw a link in the description. Definitely get one of these. It totally is great for your pickup truck. It's great for the bed. All right, the next one that I do recommend is, I went ahead on Amazon and I got the rubber mat for my bed, my truck bed. It allows stuff to not slide around. So what you may see here, here's some of my Second Amendment festivities. They're not gonna slide around with this mat here. Plus it also protects the bed of your truck. It's got these little rubber bubbles, and totally inexpensive. I think they go for $100. I totally recommend that you get one of these. Definitely worth it. I'm glad I bought mine. Now, hands down, if you have a 3rd gen Tacoma, all right, and it came from the factory, I guarantee you that you have to use your key in order to open this thing. Get you the pop and lock. This thing's locked now. Watch, check this out. I unlock it. Boom. I'm good to go. Totally ready to rock. That by far, out of all the upgrades for your Tacoma, I'm gonna put that as the #1. It's so absolutely convenient. Hey, look at that. I can do it one-handed with the camera. Absolutely the best engine modification that I have done, no matter what, was the OTT tune by RC Tuning Florida. He was phenomenal. I got a whole video of the process on how I did that. He went into my ECU, he unlocked some power. I do notice a lot of changes with how the truck is shifting. The gas mileage, it's been 20 miles per gallon, maybe 18 miles per gallon, depending on how I drive. But I'll tell you right here, right now, hands down, the best engine modification I could have done. The next 2 things that I would have done, and I will do, depending on the ad revenue from YouTube so I can reinvest it in the channel, is I'm definitely gonna get 529 gears, and I'm gonna get a Magnuson supercharger with an 85mm pulley, and he's gonna help me tune it. So, something to think about there. Thing I love about it, the guy just comes in, all he does, he gets up here in your OBD2 port, he starts tuning the ECU itself. Where's the OBD2? Oh, there it is, right there, OBD2. He starts doing his thing. I'm putting a link in the description for him, and also putting a card for that video. You can go ahead and check that out, click the link. There he is, RC Tuning Florida. I used to have a pedal commander right here. I ended up giving that to my boy Brian, who drives a 2023 TRD Pro. Great if you really don't want to do anything with the actual mechanics and what's going on with your fuel consumption and unlocking power and then the drivetrain. Pedal commander is where it's at. He's saving, I think he's doing 25 miles per gallon on the eco mode. But if you're serious about your truck, you're gonna spend $400 anyway, get the tune for OTT. Plus it's lifetime with them. After I get 529 gears, he'll come and retune it again. After I get the Magnuson supercharger, guess what? He's gonna tune it for me as well. Something to think about. Now, anyways, I went ahead and I got the MBRP exhaust. So there it is. Would I have gotten this thing knowing what I know now? Probably not, because you need to check this part out. There's 2,000, there's 1,500 RPM. There's kind of a drone. I definitely know my wife notices it a lot. So those are the things you want to consider. I haven't done I need to get a decibel meter to see how bad the MBRP is in the cabin. So at specific RPMs on the highway, it just makes, I don't know, maybe I'm getting older and I'm just not liking that kind of sound anymore. It gives a real harmonic drone in the cabin. And I've even put sound deadening all through here to try to block out the noise from underneath here where the muffler is. And unfortunately, the sound just will not go away. I got to be quite honest, I have not at all. They claim a horsepower gain. I haven't. It's just snake oil, man. I haven't seen anything different. So that's just something. But if you do enjoy working on your car, getting underneath it, getting dirty, I recommend that you get it, and it's very cheap. I think it's like $300. It's probably even, I think it's below $240 now. I'll put a link in the description. I don't recommend that you buy it because, quite frankly, it just doesn't do anything. It just makes annoying sounds while you're driving. So, well, guys, that pretty much sums up everything that I've done to my 2018 Toyota Tacoma. If you like the video, go ahead and, share it, throw a comment below. Subscription always helps. Buy something that I put in the link. It helps support the channel. Until the next video, where I'm going to be putting together the ditch lights from LasFIT. I'll see you. I really appreciate the support. Take care, guys.